Hello, Orville Nation. Welcome, everybody. And we have some Stargate to go through. Yes, we're going to kick off Stargate Mondays, and Stargate is coming. Stargate is coming. Orville Season 3 is coming. We have lots to look forward to. And we have a great panel tonight. And I just want to say thank you to everybody who is joining us. And let's see who's in here. Celine. Hello, Celine. Hello, Gap Stargate. Hello, Time Prophet. Randy. Snake Eater. Susanna. Rapunzel. Tiantelli Maria. Stephanie. Sci-Fi. Bird of Prey. Kapla, Bird of Prey. Jeff Beeler. Everybody, welcome. Mike, welcome. Dave Bob, welcome. All right, guys, let's get started. Welcome, everybody, and very exciting. Stargate is coming back in some form. It's coming back, so really exciting. And a lot of people ask me, why are we starting with Stargate Universe? Well, we're starting with Stargate Universe because it's the most recent Stargate we've had. I think it's relevant in that sense. And also, it got cut off prematurely, and we're going to get through it quicker, and then we will move on to a different Stargate. And I think I think there's a lot to talk about with Stargate Universe because there were a lot of people had a lot of opinions about it. There's a lot of good things about it. There's some things that some people had questions about. Some people didn't like. So as a fandom, I think it's a very relevant topic. And of course, we've heard rumors that that new Stargate is going to draw upon the three existing shows of Atlantis, SG-1, and Universe. Of course, the Universe cast is amazing. It's really a top-notch cast. But let's take a look at our cast for tonight and who is on our panel tonight. Let's start ladies first. And I want to welcome our favorite intergalactic meteorologist, Katie Nicolau. Welcome, Katie.
Hey, how's it going?
Good to see you, my friend.
It's been 1 week off and I just can't take it.
I know, to me, it seemed like it was like 3 weeks off.
It's weird, yeah, how time just like moved differently with a single Monday.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you want to just tell, we were talking before backstage, but Katie, do you want to tell everybody why you're eating, was it crickets or
cicadas?
Oh, cicadas. That's right.
Yeah, our morning show producer, I walked into the building and he goes, "Hey, would you eat a chocolate-covered cicada on air?" Just like, okay. I thought he was joking. But it turns out one of our weekend guys actually went and bought some chocolate-covered cicadas after he covered a news story on them a few weeks ago. And they just arrived. And he gave us just enough that we could try it on air. And so this morning, I got to do a chocolate-covered cicada and eat that on air. And it was just, it's like eating an entire thing of just popcorn hulls. Not not the popcorn, the holes.
Really? Wow.
It was gross.
Did we actually have video of you doing that or not?
Yes, it's on Twitter. It's gosh, my face. It was so
because I was looking for it. I didn't see it. Wait,
yes, it is on my Twitter homepage for anyone who's interested at @weather_Katie.
Oh, there you are. All right, I'm going to show this 1 second.
Okay.
I have to show this. But wait, let's bring in Adega's going to appreciate this. So let's bring in Adega. I want to introduce, before we show Katie doing crazy stuff on television. Katie's on television all day, and we're so privileged to have her just for a little bit on YouTube.
Aww.
We're
happy
honored
to be here.
Doctor and author Adega Outlaw. A good friend of ours, a leader in our community. Welcome, Dr. Adega. How are you?
Hey, I don't know about leader, but I'm doing good. And I already saw the video, and I was very, very impressed that you did it, but I was even more impressed with your co-host, who just seemed like it
Oh,
was another day at the office.
she said she either had to pretend that it wasn't happening or it would have all gone downhill. And so she's just like, I'm not going to take one bite. You can actually see the thought process where she goes from biting it in half to just like shoving the rest of it in her mouth. She's like, okay, this is a thing now.
Bird of Prey says, Katie, you can say no to things people ask you to eat.
True, but how cool is it to be able to say that I ate a cicada on air? Not many people can say that.
Right. That was the thing when I was offered crickets. I said, I better eat it, otherwise I'll regret it. And then I actually like the things. Except for that weird, like we talked about, the little hairs in the legs and stuff, the little bits and pieces tend to be sticky in the wrong places. It's, there it is.
Oh, poor Diana.
Who is your co-host, Katie?
That was actually our news director, Diana Castillo, and she's been filling in on the morning show this past week, and she handled it surprisingly well. I was the one to take the first bite, and she just kind of like went from there. It tasted like almonds, which is weird.
Let's before we get started, we got to watch Katie eat the here we go.
It's full chocolate covered. Okay. Are you gonna go first? Yeah. Oh, don't look inside. Oh, I'm going to go hold them. I made the mistake of looking inside, and I think I saw an eyeball. That's why I just ate the whole thing. God, it's kind of like almondy. Very crunchy. We do this for you. Hold on, I'm still chewing. That is a strange texture. Mercifully, there's more chocolate. Wow, it tastes just like chocolate. Don't even think about it. Good nutrition for.
She's such a liar.
That's a morning snack. That was pretty good. I need water. I'll bring you some water. We're gonna go to the store. Earlier this month. We showed you some chocolate cover.
I can't get over it. She handled it like a trooper.
That was great, Katie. Wow. And I point out that if you're ever going to be on Survivor, this is going to be nothing for you, right?
Very true. Although I doubt they would have the chocolate on the bugs in Survivor. Oh well.
So all right. Well, listen, I do want to remind people that Katie is doing another Virgin watch of what we're reviewing.
Oh, I don't know if I'll be able to resist the binge because I need answers. Like Dark Matter, I was like, okay, the answers will be easy. I can under this one. I'm just like, I need to know more context.
Yeah, there's a lot of history that you're missing.
Yeah,
coming in the third series.
I'm thinking, Adega, should she watch ahead or should she watch like SG1 instead, like to get filler?
The problem with getting caught up, she would have to go quite a few seasons to find out who the Aleutian Alliance is because they keep reoccurring. You'd have to know a lot about the ancients. So we may have to either fill you in on the sly or just have a great deal of enjoyment watching how confused you can get each week.
Okay. I love it.
So let's take a first look, and I want to say welcome to everybody. Welcome Sci-Fi Nation, Dave, Bob, Dee Dee Myers, Tim Possible. Hello, Kylo Tim, Time Prophet, Gap Stargate. Thank you for that trailer you made on the fly. Hello, Ava. Thank you for joining us. Celine, Aaron. Thank you. LDG, Bird of Prey. Everybody, welcome. Maria from TNTelly. Everybody, welcome. Rapunzel, welcome, guys. So I think we should first take a look at the cast, and so I'm going to put up the cast. Now, what did you guys think about the cast? What do you think about the casting?
In my uninformed view, the British and or Scottish guy, kind of creepy, well cast. The Eli dude, really cool. And Ming-Na Wen. That's all I know.
The only one I could say I was kind of disappointed. This has nothing to do with his acting. He's a great actor. For some reason, I thought maybe they could have picked someone a little bit different. Was the one who did Matthew Scott. I know that sounds weird, but for some reason, he just didn't seem to fit military for me.
Okay.
Yeah, I can see that.
Gotcha.
Vigilante.
So we see here, we see Robert Carlyle here. He's the guy
Awesome.
who plays Nicholas Rush. Great. He's a great actor. He's played villains. He's played, he has done a lot of amazing stuff. Was he a favorite of yours, Adega?
Oh yeah, everything that I've seen him in, I think he does a wonderful job at. He's just a great actor.
And what did you think about him? Well, you're just seeing this for the first time. He has a lot of duality to him. And without spoiling too much,
he seems kind of bipolar. Just a little bit. Like he's got the sciencey side. He's got the crying in your bedroom side. I don't know. He gives me the creepy scientist vibe.
He's a good creepy scientist.
Not entirely there.
Now we've had David Hewlett and Samantha Carter. David Hewlett, who plays Rodney and Stargate Atlantis, and he's a brainy guy too. We've had Samantha Carter and a few other brainy guys, including Daniel Jackson in SG-1. This guy is a very different brainy guy, right, Odega?
Yeah. No, he's one who has, instead of the group agenda team player, he is not a team player, barely at all. And we're in for a fun ride at his or everyone else's expense for his own gratification.
Yeah. Absolutely. We have here who plays the senator's daughter, Elise Levesque. She's pretty good in her role there.
It's crazy to see how they've aged since the show.
It hasn't been that long either.
No.
Yeah, it hasn't been that long. Like David Blue, he just got really slim. Right. I follow him on Twitch, and I follow. Oh, go ahead. Sorry, Diego.
No, I'm just gonna say I love that character that he played. Such a great job.
Yeah, you couldn't imagine SGU without Eli Wallace, right?
Right. No, he had to be there. He's perfect.
Yeah, and he's the geek. So, Katie, you said that you really liked the character of Eli, right? The gamer.
Yeah, he's nerdy and likes games. What's not to like?
This guy, David Blue, is a really funny guy. Hopefully we will have him on sometime.
Awesome.
We will invite, see if he joins us. I follow him on his. I follow a lot of the stuff he does, and he's just he seems like a really great human being. And we see here Elena Hoffman, who's done a lot of acting. She's obviously she's a brunette. She plays the blonde medic in what's her name? The Tamara Johnson, and TJ. Sorry, she plays TJ, and she I don't know. The cast is just fantastic for me. Then we have
relatively new faces for me, because a lot of times in sci-fi that just recycles a lot, and this is a cool one because I don't know a lot of these people.
Well, they've done a lot, like a lot of stuff. I mean, and Luis Ferreira, he's done a lot too. He plays Colonel Young. Well, what else is he? Wait, what else is Luis Ferreira in? Let me just check. Anything off your head, Adega?
I'm horrible with names, but I do remember the face. I can't recall what I've seen him in, but there's been a couple of things.
It's nice to know I'm not the only one with a really bad memory. Just saying.
Oh yeah, no, we go through too much stuff to. He's been just he's been on a lot of different TV series, like guest roles and stuff, and everything from the X-Files to SWAT to several movies, and yeah, he's a very interesting actor. And we have here Brian Smith, who plays Matthew Scott, who wasn't completely convinced.
Yeah, I just got chewed out by Gap Stargate. He loves it in the role. It's like, all right, good, wonderful.
Yeah, I like him. I actually like a lot. I like the role, the actor and the role of Matthew Scott. I do think there's as we go through this, I have a lot of things to say about SGU, to be honest. There's like, I don't know. There's something different about this series. I know it. Maybe it's because it's a continuing story arc, and it's not really episodic in the sense of traditional episodic. It's series. Sorry, series, right? What did you feel? What did you guys feel? Well, I'm going to ask Adega because Adega's seen it. Adega, what did you feel about the fact that that it's not like traditional episodic, but that there's just that big long story arc?
Well, there's a couple of different things, because the other ones had the long story arc as well, but this one was missing and had things that the other two didn't. And if you had expectations for it to be like the other two predecessors, the comedy was rare, very, very rare. Every once in a while you get a few things with Eli that shows up, and they're more not overt comedy. It's just situational happenstance, like the first one with the keynotes where he's bumping in and then look at it. It's a matter of the camera angle that kind of makes the a little bit of levity to it. But the other thing is, the other ones tend to have, there's always a place to escape. You can go back home. You can go through the gate. You can call in friends. This is isolated. This is darker, and this has less hope than the others. But it also has, where it shines is the exploration part. Here are things that nobody else has even come close to even recognizing. You are out 20 galaxies away, far beyond even where the ancients had sent any people to, just these long-range ships from millions of years ago. So it's a darker, much darker feel, a little bit more depressing, but in a lot of ways more exciting too.
Yeah, it is different, right? It's definitely different. It's definitely darker, and it's visually darker too, as well. It's not just
That is the one thing too, because the visuals on this surpass the other two. This ship is one of my favorites in all of sci-fi. I would rate it as probably number 2 or 3. The ship itself is just a wonderful design. But the space scenes, the planetary scenes, when they're, from jungle to desert to this, to that, the other, the cinematography is awesome. I think they just did wonderful. There's a couple little glitches with the CGI. Every once in a while, you have to be really looking for it to see where they screwed up. But other than that, I love the ship.
Yeah. Oren Blake agrees Destiny is the best ship ever. And Gap Stargate says, in case you haven't gotten the message, Brian J. Smith is his favorite. Did Robert Carlyle tell the Gould where they were, so they were forced to use the Stargate? Well, that's interesting. It wasn't the Gould, though. It was the
Aleutian Alliance.
Yeah.
In the history of Stargate, the Goa'uld are long since gone. Aleutian Alliance are a group of former Jaffa slave humans that found all these ships and weapons and decided to make up their own criminal organization. Massive criminal organization.
By the way, the Gould. So Katie, the Gould are these parasites that possess people.
Okay, cool.
And they used to be like in charge of the whole galaxy.
In Star Trek, the Trill?
Yeah.
Think of them as like Trill, only really, really evil.
Yeah.
Fascinating. Okay.
As Jack O'Neill would say, over the top evil guys. But I actually think I was going to ask Adega, do you really think the Gould are out of power, but they're probably not really gone though, right?
The Goa'uld themselves, that sect is gone. There is the other ones that were the very, very small group of the good ones that were still around. Yeah.
What did you guys think? Well, Katie, you saw it briefly. Any thoughts on the guy who plays Sergeant Greer?
Oh, that dude's off his nut. Not the actor, but the character.
He's awesome.
He seems like he's crazy.
He's a little crazy. Yeah.
Oh, I'm crazy in a different sense than this guy, but interesting dynamic I think between Matthew Scott and Renaud Gere. So we'll see how these two characters play out.
What did you think about Sergeant Greer, Diego?
I think he's awesome. I like it. He has the stupid moments. He has the abject, complete bravery moments. No hesitation, like a Marine almost. I think he's a great actor. Just a great part. I liked it a lot.
The acting job he does is amazing.
Yes. Yeah.
He's like, he does it so well. And somebody said, who was it? That the character, Celine says the series needed a character like Greer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he did a good job. Then we have the IOA representative, Camille Ray, played by Ming-Na Wen.
Ming-Na Wen. She was actually my first autograph I ever got. She did this promotion with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And she said, if you send me a bracelet to this address, I'll send you guys back a gift. And so I made a little bracelet and sent it in. And this was probably 10 years ago now. And she sent me an autograph, which was really cool.
Wow. See, so you do know some of the people in here.
I do, vaguely.
She's done a lot of things actually. Yeah, she's done a lot.
Mm-hmm.
From Mulan, S.H.I.E.L.D., Street Fighter, Gremlins. Wow, Gremlins. Okay, Gremlins 2021. Okay, and we have,
They're rebooting Gremlins.
I just looked on her IMDb. It's Gremlins. Gremlins 2021 is in post-production. She's in it, and it's called Secrets of Magua.
Okay.
This is news to me too.
So I haven't heard anything about this.
By the way, she is also in the Book of Boba Fett, which is coming out for Star Wars.
Ooh.
She have a few things in Mandalore too. The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
That's right. She did. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah.
Great actress. Hated Camille.
Yeah. Oh, great.
But because she was she was just annoying all the time, or?
I don't like politicians.
Yeah.
I feel that.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, I gotta say there are moments in here because this is such an extreme situation. There are moments in the series, and you tell me what you think, Adega, where I really think in real life circumstances, I think that the military leader would not dibble dabble with toy around with certain bureaucracy. What do you think about that?
I've thought about this a lot, and this is my own opinion because I don't know military law per se. But when you have, say, like you have the senator on the ship, you have her who's representative of someone who doesn't even, it's an international, group that has nothing to do with governing people. A senator is meant to represent the people in making law, not to lead a group of people that are lost. That is and should be those who have been trained to be such, that are in a hierarchy like that. It should be the military calling the shots.
Yeah. There's a lot of little things about the military aspects that I have opinions about on this, including the fact that when they're put in that extreme situation, and the colonel is the colonel needs to be I don't know, I want to get to it down the road, but I do think at some point that that the what's his name? I'm sorry, that Lieutenant Scott would have been promoted by the end of season 1 to captain, for example, just because of the situation. But anyway, stuff like that.
Right.
And hello, author Kai. Hello, author Kai MFS. Good to see you. What about these, like, kind of the secondary characters? Did any favorites? Brody, Volker.
Well, those two are a dynamic duo. Those two guys, Adam and Dale, they're kind of inseparable. They work together, and how they work against what's his face, the first one that we had on the list,
Rush.
They were a couple of bumbling fools, but brilliant and knew their stuff. I like those guys a lot.
Yeah. I don't remember Vanessa. What is she? Oh, Vanessa James. Oh, the Lieutenant James. Yeah. Yeah. She's a great character too. Lieutenant James.
Lieutenant Phillips. Where have I seen his face before?
Everywhere.
That bugged me the entire episode. Yeah, I've seen him in so many other things, I think.
Well, if you look at the post that I just posted a little while ago, you will see one thing you have seen him in, apart from being on Paulie's channel on what's
Latino Slant.
On Latino Slant not too long ago, with the cast of what was the math movie, the AP math movie, he's famous for being this guy right here. He's famous for being the star of La Bamba. Well, that's how he came into. That's how he got to be. And yeah, thank you, Time Prophet, and Young Guns as well. Yeah, well, yeah, he ended up doing.
I wonder if he's been in Star Trek at all.
I don't think he has. No, it was a big surprise to see him in Stargate, wasn't it, Adega?
Yeah, yeah. And I, as much as, well, I'm not going to get into it, but I appreciate his character without giving any spoilers to Katie, and I also don't like his character. Every single one of these have good and bad points, and I think that's one of the cool things about the series. One moment you like him, the next moment you hate him. For most of them, everyone makes mistakes. Some of them are malicious, some of them are accidental, and this show takes you on a roller coaster.
Thank you, Stand and Deliver. Thank you, Stephanie. Yeah. It was, and listen, kudos to Joe, to Brad, and the entire Stargate production, Robert C. Cooper. The kudos to bringing in somebody like Lou Diamond Phillips, like a powerhouse Latino star, because I've always felt that Latinos have been underrepresented in some of sci-fi. So that was good. Let's see. We obviously have here. We have here Dr. Park.
I've always liked her stuff. She played in Continuum as well. I think she's really good. Yeah.
We have Richard Dean Anderson, who pops up every once in a while. It's always good to see them. We have here Hunter Riley, who's kind of he's the gate guy. He's the Walter of SGU.
Right.
Walter is the sergeant who's the gate in charge of the gate in SG1, Katie.
Do we
Okay.
really
That's
have
why I
to
said
open
he's
that
the Walter.
door? Yeah.
And this guy, does this guy ring a bell? Mike Dopa? Remember we interviewed him for Dark
He was
Matter?
on our yeah. There you go.
He was in Dark Matter,
I
and
forgot.
he was with us with Joe.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
But he's coming down at the end of season 1. He's going to join it down the road. So
Okay.
and then we see here some lesser roles. Amanda Tapping, obviously she plays I think she's a lieutenant colonel or a full colonel, Carter. She's in charge of the Hammond or something of the ship.
Yep.
Ona Grauer plays Ayana, which is Colonel Young's wife.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, some of these people, so David Hewlett pops up. I'm not sure when he pops up. I think he pops up maybe in a flashback scene, maybe, or something.
No, he's if I remember right, he gets connected with the Stones to help out periodically.
Oh, okay. Rona Mitra, she plays an evil person down the road. And Robert Picardo, I don't remember where Robert Picardo shows up.
Well, you're going to be surprised too.
Okay. I don't remember. That's great. And we have all kinds of people. This is Walter. He's all these people who pop up just randomly from old Stargate. So just an amazing cast. They did a really good job. So they did a really great job. We start out and there's so many flashbacks and there's so much going on with this first episode. Do you like how Diego, as a storyteller yourself, do you like how the series the first episode starts out, how they set everything up?
Second time through it, I had some time in between watching it before, and I saw them hopping through the gate, and I said, "Wait, didn't we miss something? They didn't even talk about how the gate was opened or anything else." And I go, "Oh yeah, this is how it starts." It depends on how it's done. Some people can do it right, some people can't. Where you're starting to tell your story and said, "Hold up, let's go back, and we'll give you a little bit more information," and then keep bouncing back and forth. Sometimes it works. In this case, it does. It wouldn't have been the way that I did it, but it works good.
Yeah, it's I think I kind of felt it was hard to do a review of the sequence of events because of the back and forth.
Right.
But as the story, it does work. Yeah, it does work. They do it in a way it does work. And we see that so Katie, the Destiny is just floating in space, and it starts to light up as the Stargate gets dialed.
That is cool. I like the visual effects on this. You mentioned it's only, I think it was 10 years ago that this was made, so they were definitely better kind of graphics and CGI than the Star Treks that we've had for at least up to Enterprise.
Yeah, no, they have some amazing graphics and special effects, and so here we see the Lieutenant Scott flying through here because it's I guess it's a rough ride through the gate the first time. Usually, Katie, when you walk through the gate, you just walk through the gate. You don't fly out the other end. So
I was gonna say seems like a very violent exit from a Stargate.
Yeah.
Normally it's like he said, it's just a stroll through the park, but In order to help set the scene for distance, they had to change it. At the very first couple of episodes, sometimes they have a little frost on their nose, making the Stargate seem like you somehow remotely experience the cold in space between point A and point B, and they eventually ended doing that. This one, since the distances are so far, it's traumatic.
Adega, this question, Time Prophet says, if Carlisle mistranslated, what if Carlisle mistranslated the name? Oh, Rush. If Rush mistranslated the name, and it's not Destiny, it's called the Death Ship. That's very funny. But I wanted to ask you. Do you? I mean, would you say that as the series goes on, Eli kind of slowly catches up to Rush in the knowledge of everything, and maybe surpasses him?
Well, let's not give any spoilers, but sure.
Well, yeah,
I think the thing is Rush, and not giving anything away, because you could see it in part 1. His ego gets bruised real easy. It wasn't his idea to set up the game that got Eli, and the fact that they are treating Eli like some sort of celebrity while he just is put to the side and continues to work. Some of that self-inflicted wounds of his own ego. But it'll all come back to roost on him in one form or another.
He also does want to use Eli though too, right? Like you guys
right,
mentor him or use him or.
But that's the thing. He wants to use everything for everyone and everything for his own personal goals. He does have the ability to have some humanity to him. You see it a little bit in several episodes, but most of the time he's just strictly focused on figuring out what Destiny was doing.
Yeah. Katie, is there like, what do you, so you've just watched Air Part 1. What's your what's your impression when you just watch those first 44 minutes? Where do you think they are? What do you think? What do you think about what's their situation? What do you think? Because you haven't watched any further.
I think it's a lot like Voyager, Star Trek Voyager. And it's just like, we're thrown to the ends of space. Let's try and go home. And it just has some really cool other technology in it. And I like that the first thing was, oh, hey guys, the air's broken, because that's something that would probably happen if you came upon an abandoned spaceship. So it was feasible. Like it made sense, the order of events that they went in.
That's actually a good comparison, this and Voyager, except these people weren't prepared to do something like this.
Exactly. It's like Voyager if it was just a college dorm that was just a couple of professors sucked up, some of the RAs.
The wrong people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we see that basically they do an evacuation to this, like, it's insane because they should have evacuated to somewhere, to the Earth to the Alpha site or the Beta site. Like the Alpha and Beta sites are like safe places, like safe alternatives to Earth, Katie.
Okay.
So you don't actually, like, so when they don't want to actually gate, if it's dangerous, like they don't actually want to gate directly to Earth, they gate to the Alpha site or the Beta site, but or another site. But Rush has this like last opportunity to make things work, and he just causes everybody to end up, billions and billions of light years away, right?
Right.
Man, that is an irresponsible scientist.
And and we see that as soon as he gets on board, Rush is basically as soon as he gets on board, he steps up high in the gate room, and he is in Rush Disneyland.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
And I, without giving too much away, even in a few episodes down the road, They even say, "We're not sure if Rush wants to come home." At one point, they say.
Yeah. Okay.
They say curiosity killed the cat. He is definitely the cat on the ship.
Oh, gee.
Not saying
You know-
he kills anybody, but his curiosity is forefront of any humanity.
Oh, that is a very bad scientist then.
Well, you kind of learn out some of his stuff later on, why he does what he does. It almost makes sense. But anyway, I'm sorry I interrupted you, PJ.
No. No, please go ahead. I interrupted you. Time Prophet has said this a couple of times. I think Rush lied about the name of the ship to give people hope. That's interesting because, without getting spoilers away, he has been known to lie, and to do stuff like that. The only problem I have with that is that, like, Brody, Volker, and Eli,
Yeah. And then there's that one lady, Doctor, what's her face? A lot of them could read ancient.
Yeah, they would have picked up on it, right? Yeah, that's the only thing about that. But it's like plausible. Sure, it's plausible, except that he wouldn't have gotten away with it, I don't think. So, Katie, what do you think about the ship they're on? Like, what's your first impression, just with having watched the first part?
I think it's kind of like a ghost ship that it's what they could have done. Oh gosh, how do I say this? It looks like the Klingon death ship from Star Trek Discovery, kind of initially. It's like, oh, it's all shut down and this and this and this, and it's like they're basically getting an old junker RV and trying to renovate it, from what I've seen so far. So I don't know, I like the design of it. It seems massive, so that definitely adds to the set that they could use, which I like.
Yeah, it is massive, and like even way down the road in season 2, there's there's a lot of parts of the ship they have yet to explore. It is big, yeah. And Adega's probably thinking, PJ, you're doing a lot of spoilers here.
No, that's not spoilers, because in the first episode, Rush shows them the hologram of where they were, and he starts from what he discovered about the ship. It was launched from Earth several million years ago. It was not the first ship. There's others that were seeding Stargates along the way before this ship got there. And no ancient had ever been on it. They were waiting for it to get to where its destination was before they used the Stargate to go visit the ship and find out what it discovered. So that we do know. It's very, very old. It is very, very big. And its mission is to go and discover that base underlying code or signal that's in the background radiation throughout the universe that actually has substance to it, like someone had seeded it there billions of years ago.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, that is interesting. And some people didn't like that. That they thought it was they were even on Twitter today. There were some comments about the God code, but I thought it was very interesting. Time Prophet insists maybe there's something to it. Maybe Rush hasn't told all the truth about the name. Maybe it's not a perfect translation.
His name is the Time Prophet. Maybe we need to trust it.
Thanks for insisting. You guys make it fun, guys.
Ooh, there are comics?
Really? I have not seen that, Snake Eater. Thank you for sharing that. The Comics of Destiny, there's a sequel of Universe. Really? Interesting.
I missed it.
Interesting. And guys, Stephanie, Little Page, and Captain Robert, that's their GoFundMe for their housing situation as they're waiting for vet approved housing. So please help if you can. Thank you. Hail. Hello, Judicon. So And so we see the senator there with his daughter, and the first thing that happens is that the Colonel Young. Well, this is Colonel Young flying out because of the explosion on the other side. And the first thing we see is that the colonel is incapacitated and injured.
Oh, I thought he was dead for sure. I was like, oh, he's totally dead. But no.
Oh, maybe he's dead. Maybe he's dead.
He definitely is alive because he's listed as the main character when I looked at the character sheet. So,
Jacob asks, would you rather beam me up or walk through the Stargate Iris? What do you guys think? Would you rather beam or walk through the Stargate?
Probably walk through the Stargate, and this is why I've seen too many Star Trek videos that talk about how the transporters are just mass death machines, and how it's just like they make copies and the original copy is like destroyed, and so you aren't actually your own matter. And I wouldn't do it.
What about you, Dega?
I actually kind of wrote about that.
Didn't we talk about this?
Different. Have we?
Or was it a stream we may have watched? Sorry, go ahead.
But coming at it from, and I'm not picking on religions or anything else, trust me, it has nothing to do with that, but coming from a spiritual aspect of things, where there are beliefs that the body has a soul, the combination of a spirit and a body. When you put it in a transporter, the old question is, when you come to the other side, are you really you? Mm-hmm. Have you been replaced? Is that spiritual aspect of you gone? Where that question would never have any issue if you were to go through a wormhole. You stayed intact the whole time. Granted, you were compressed and moved through a dimensional shift, or however you want to look at a fold in space or whatever, but you're still intact, and that question would never be there. So I would prefer to walk through.
Woo! Okay. 2 for walking.
I'm for walking through the Stargate too. However, when they do describe, they do describe being broken down in a very similar way, from my understanding. But yeah, I would prefer to go through the wormhole. Agreed. So this is the video game that Eli. I got to be careful not to say Elihu. That Eli. Are you here, Elihu?
It's just in the background.
Yeah. I gotta be careful not to say Elihu. So this is the video game he's playing, and he finally figures it out. He deciphers it, and he just goes like back to the beginning once he does, and his friend is like, "Oh, it was for nothing." And so General Jack O'Neill shows up at his door with Dr. Rush, and of course. You know who MacGyver, the original MacGyver, is, right, Katie? Kind of. Oh my God, you're so young.
I mean, I've heard of it.
Okay, so I'm Jack O'Neill, the character of the actor who played Jack O'Neill. Richard Dean Anderson was also MacGyver.
Okay.
And that's what we were. I think we talked about it with Joe not too long ago when Stargate started. They were really banking on MacGyver on MacGyver. Well, Richard Dean Anderson was like synonymous with MacGyver with his character, and they were kind of banking on his star power to give a good boost to the show. So this is him, and that was pretty cool. I the first time I watched it, I'm like, nah, they're not going to directly beam him up, and they just beamed him up. Would you like to be beamed up, Katie?
I mean, is there a shuttlecraft option? I guess if that was like the only way, then okay.
Would you sign the NDA, Katie, when if the government comes and say, Katie, we have a Stargate program, we want you to sign the NDA?
Yeah, sure, why not?
we need a meteorologist for our for the Alpha site.
I'd take that.
What about you, Adega? Would you sign it?
I don't know. Probably not. simply because exploration is meant for those people who have less to lose.
That's an interesting point.
If I was younger, in a heartbeat. You know, if I didn't have kids and those type of obligations.
Yeah, of course.
Sorry, just truck going by. I tried to mute it. But in my situation now, I'm more valuable where I am than where I would be. So not right now. No, I wouldn't. Keep your secrets.
Yeah, I understand. But wait, if it was that easy just to walk through the gate and come back, like you go to another planet and come back for the day, no, you don't think so? It's too risky.
Game for that.
It just depends on where, you know. Okay. If frontline duty needed to be done and no one else could do it, yeah, I'll be there. But other than that, give it to somebody else, you know.
Yeah. So what do you guys? What? All right, this is a good question. And Time Prophet says he would. I want to ask everybody in the chat: would you guys sign the NDA and join the Stargate program? I mean, we're preaching to the choir here. I understand, but what would you guys say? Let's hear your input. Would you guys sign the NDA and join the Stargate program?
See, Dave Bob knows what I'm talking about.
What do you guys think?
Exactly.
Would you guys join the Stargate program?
If I could bring my cat, if I could bring Radar, sure.
Sure. If Katie could have a bridge cat.
Exactly.
Like we'll get a bridge cat on the Orville this year.
Yes.
Randy Coleman says yes. Randy Coleman would sign. Stephanie says, hell yeah, I would. What if they don't let you bring Captain Robert, Stephanie?
No.
Dee Dee Myers says, I would sign it. Celine says, I absolutely sign it. But listen, I do want to say this because Dega brings up a really good point too. Like, if something happened to you and you're like lost on a planet in God knows where, on the other side of the universe, you'd be saying for the rest of your life, why didn't I just stay on Earth?
Fair point.
Well, and isn't it so much, you know, some of us, it isn't so much about us. It's about who we would leave behind.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the most.
Because that was a trouble with Eli, which I thought was brilliant. Him and his mom. He went because it helped her, not because he helped him. So he had a good reason to sign it, but it was difficult.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't you guys love Rapunzel's answer? I've already signed it, but I can't tell you anything about it. Great answer, Rapunzel.
Nice.
Judicon says yes. Yeah, I think I would, says Gusto.
With gusto.
With gusto. So I'm reading in Spanish. Thank you.
Yes, you are.
But he gets. Look! Oh wow! I can see. Hold on 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
1 second. I can see. A dagger from here.
Of course he's covering up Iowa.
Right. If you had your... Oh, let me see. It would be about... Well, there's Green Bay. You could see it where just below his shoulder on the right. And there's a cloud there at the tip of that end of the lake. You go in to where just about where you're touching his shoulder. That's where I would be.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Nice.
And
Dead center of Wisconsin.
That's a beautiful part of the country, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up there. It's a beautiful part of the country. We do get to see Michael Shanks quite a bit show up in SG1. I'm sorry, in SGU, and we first see him here as he we first see him here as he's kind of like in the videotapes that Eli's watching.
Those were helpful. I learned a lot just from those videos.
You're in
You
class with
probably
Eli.
did, right? Like Katie needs those videos to catch up.
It's like, this makes sense. Okay, I got
Like
this.
that, she needs that Eli Wallace crash course, the Dr. Jackson crash course. Now, Katie, did you feel like this? Did you feel like just because I think that part 1 and part 2 may have aired back to back.
Okay.
And I think you may have had the longer experience for the first when they first aired it. But what did you feel like? Did you feel like the episode was complete, or did you feel like you were hanging or left hanging?
I felt like it was like left hanging, but it seemed like that was the way the show would be. Is like it's just one long movie and they chopped it into episodes. I could be wrong, but that's what I got the vibe of.
Yeah. And of course they go back and forth, and Eli meets Chloe, and they become friends on the ship where they're on their way to the Icarus Planet. And how would you describe the Icarus Planet, Adiga? If you had to describe it to, I mean, Katie's seen the first episode, but if you have to describe it to somebody who's not, who doesn't know anything about it, how would you describe the Icarus Planet to people?
Burnt out rock. I mean, why do I say that? Just a side note. You could tell when you are involved in the same circle of influence, you hear the same news reports, this, that, or the other, when you start picking up the language. And I noticed Joe did this a lot. And I'm starting to do it, and I'm trying to get it out of my repertoire of using language where you start something by saying, I mean, you know, and there was the first thing. The Icarus Planet is basically a old planet that had some facilities on it, and there is a lot of energy that could be utilized to pump up the gate. Those gates require a lot of power. It took humans on Earth a while to figure out how to power the thing. And that was one thing throughout all the series, but mostly the first series, is to get strange gates and strange locations enough power. There's even one episode in the first season where they used them as a prison. The gate had no power on one side. You get thrown out, and there's no way to dial out. You can go in, but you can't go out. So Icarus had enough power to not only do the 7, the 8 if you're jumping galaxies, but the 9 to go way out there.
Yeah. And actually, Eli comes up with a kind of interesting idea. He says because they couldn't figure out why it wasn't working, and he says, "What if you're not supposed to be dialing from this planet, right?"
Right. They got the 9th chevron combination from an ancient catalog, and they were automatically assuming, and wrongfully so, that the point of origin didn't matter when you dial the combination, where you automatically think, well, they all start with 0, so we're going to put 0 in. Well, this place isn't 0, it has to have a 1. And so they changed it to match, and then off they went.
Cool.
Yeah. So we see here that Rush is taken off, and Lieutenant Scott and Eli go looking for Rush, and this is where they find out they are on a ship. And I think it was Rapunzel who said, was it Rapunzel or Celine that said, which one of you guys was it? As soon as I found out I was on the ship, I was in love with the show. Katie, what happened when you found out it was a ship, or did you already know it was a ship?
I kind of assumed it was a ship because it's a
Okay.
sci-fi show, and I was just like, what's a sci-fi show without a ship? And it was it just kind of made sense for me. But when they walked out onto that area and you see the stars flying past, like, oh, okay, cool, I was right. And I can't say that about most times when I watch stuff for the first time. So
Cardinal Sin might be doing maybe it's not a bad idea. SGU
Eh?
watch party, Cardinal Sin, not a bad idea. Yeah. Now, see, the reason it may have been a surprise for some, even though there was obviously a lot of people had seen the trailer, and then obviously at the beginning of the show you see a ship, but in the Stargate universe, most of the gates are kind of like anchored to a place, so
okay.
that's why some people may have not or been surprised by it. But we see the battle on the Icarus Planet, and we see the battle on the Icarus Planet with the Lucian Alliance. And Adega, don't you want an F-302 so bad?
Oh, jeez.
Just
Yeah, that'll take. Or that railgun that shoots off 400 rounds per minute. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We have railguns, just haven't been talking about them too much. They've only been for those of you who don't know railgun, I think everyone here should. They're basically electronically propelled, and if done right, theoretically, you can get things that approach the speed of light. So you can launch grains of sand and tear apart massive ship because of the kinetic energy.
Magnetically propelled, right?
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah, and
That's
this is
terrifying.
We're starting to put them on our ships, and they have designs for mobile tanks with them too.
You explained that really well, Adega. Thank you. And this is an F-302. This is kind of like the reverse engineered Earth fighter from Goa'uld Technology, Katie.
Okay.
So yeah, that'll make more sense down the road. Hello, Lady Mist.
Yay.
Hello, Lady Mist. Yeah, basically we stole the tech and made it our own.
Sounds like a human thing to do.
Hello, Master of TDS. By the way, guys, you guys all have wrenches. Please make sure you use them and put in your channels. Yes, railguns are cool. Was dialing the ninth chevron? What do you guys think? Was dialing the ninth chevron? Was it a very selfish and narcissistic move?
Yes.
I think so.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
like,
without
he
a
didn't
doubt.
consult anyone else.
But think about it. It's like, for just being devil's advocate, if surprise, we have a guest. Hello. Hello, Coco. Welcome, Coco.
Hello. Oh, I can't believe I had so much trouble tonight with my connections. I don't know what's going on.
Good to see you. Yeah.
Yes.
A lot of people have had trouble with their connections. I think it's because of the Olympics, to be honest. I had trouble too.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Well, yeah, I was just messing around trying to do different things, and I eventually got it to work. So hello.
Nice.
I was just gonna ask. What was I gonna ask? Wait a second. Oh yeah, Rush. So just to play devil's advocate here, what if it is really the last opportunity to get, because they don't have another Icarus planet? What if it is really the last opportunity to dial the ninth chevron? I mean,
Sucks for him.
but I mean, is there a greater good here in that decision, guys? What do you think?
No.
Coco, what do you think? Is Rush well, obviously Rush did it for his own reasons, but
Yeah, I'm not really sure, to be fair, because I mean, I always thought Rush was an interesting character anyway. Like, you kind of hate him, but at the same time, you're like, you're like, you just have enough likability to be like, oh, fair enough, okay, I'll see where this character goes. But yeah, I'm not sure.
See, Celine says it was the last opportunity. I mean, maybe there is. I don't know. I think there might be a greater good. Obviously, the human side to it. Obviously, they should have just evacuated everybody. But Katie's all afraid if she's ever stuck on a planet with me as a bad scientist.
I would be like, oh, okay, we're locking him up.
He's like, no, don't let PJ decide to dial the 9.
I mean, you would think, like, from the amount of like TV shows you got, you like when you're stranded somewhere and there's someone being a bit dodgy, you should know by now, like, do not trust them.
Yeah, no.
So they have no choice. They have to go through, and they can't even send a probe through, which is, see, Katie, they always send a probe through to make sure that it's safe. Because, for example,
actually, that's a good point, because they're in the first series, which you haven't seen. There were times when the gates were underwater. They were on planets that had poison gases. There did various different things. One of them even where the event horizon of a black hole was just about to touch the planet. And it was a whole big thing about gravity and time and everything. Brilliant episode. It's worth watching. So, yeah, they learned, well, it's a good idea to send something through and take a look and give us some information before we go.
Because even though you can't walk back through the gate of an outgoing of an incoming wormhole, there can be radio radio waves. Yeah.
Okay.
And we should say too that the Earth Gate has an iris. So anybody who comes in with the iris closed gets vaporized, basically.
Oh, geez.
Bye-bye. Yeah, it was basically because like they learned from the very first episode. It's like, yeah, we can't have just random people walking in and killing people. That's not good.
Yeah, that could be a problem.
So so they decided to put, like Coco said, like they decided at the beginning they needed to put a protective iris on the gate, and so the SG, all the SG teams that go through the gate, Katie would have like a what is it called? They had a device, the remote.
There's a transmitter basically that had their
Okay.
code for which team that they had, and they would send the signal, and then they would open up the shield.
Thank you. Say it, Coco.
It's called the GDO, which I believe stands for Garage Door Opener.
Was it GDO? No, it was something else. It was.
Well, to let them know that it's the team coming through.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
We see here Samantha Carter, Amanda Tapping, and the guy at the helm he's been at the helm like for God knows how long.
Right.
He's like a major now. But one of the things that was interesting when we saw Amanda Tapping in the recent interviews right before they announced the Amazon stuff, and we saw a big interview with Amanda Tapping, and she didn't have, like, if you noticed, her hair was back to the more traditional Carter, like very short blonde hair. She was wearing the very traditional, which I thought was indicative of Stargate returning, to be honest.
Maybe she knows.
Maybe.
Coco, what did you think? Now you've seen this many times, right?
I've actually not seen Stargate Universe that many times.
Okay.
Like, I've watched obviously SG1. I don't even know. Like, seriously, like I could probably remember some really stupid stuff. Atlantis and Universe, I haven't really watched that many times over, surprisingly. And it's not that I don't like it, it's just, sometimes you're just more drawn to certain series. So I guess
Yeah.
that's why. Yeah.
We could ask the Stargate expert on this. Coco, Celine says, "Do you like the SGU gate?"
I do like the SGU gate. In fact, I think Joe on his Twitter asked once who was the favorite gate, so he had all 3 up. And like I said, I like all the designs, but it's purely because I grew up with the Stargate movie. I'm always gonna have a soft spot for the original gate.
Now, see, I like the universe one.
Oh, it's groovy. Like I said, I don't dislike it. It's just, I wouldn't put it as my favorite, but it's very cool. I do like how for each series, they did give us a very unique bit.
Well, they also matched that there was a different time frame for their construction. Like the ones on Earth were probably much older than the one that they used on Stargate Universe. Yeah. And the ones on Atlantis were obviously their most advanced one, and that's why they didn't move. They just had the lights go boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
I love Rapunzel's comment. It looks like the exercise wheels for indoor cats. That was my first thought. Oh, it's like that thing like the cat has on TikTok. Okay.
The thing is, Katie, if you get into Stargate, every time you see a really big circular object, you instantly think, "Ooh, Stargate."
Can we go touch it? See?
Yeah. Can we go somewhere, please?
And have you used didn't they say there were a maximum of 9 chevrons?
Yes.
Maybe they just haven't found the 10th.
They haven't found the 10th.
Amazon series.
And and by the way, just to follow up on what we were asking Coco. Yeah, the Atlantis gates and the Atlantis Universe gate. I'm sorry, the Atlantis Galaxy, the Pegasus Galaxy gates are different from these older gates, and they're different from the Earth Galaxy Milky Way gates. So. We're also giving you all this backstory, Katie. I'm sorry. I'm
good.
It's just like an educational stream.
I mean, so far, you've given it a backstory without really spoiling it, so that's good.
Yeah.
It's tough.
It's tough. It's like, this character. Wait, no, I can't say that.
I'm gonna have to go back and watch like the original just so I can know.
Have you not seen the movie Stargate?
No.
Okay.
Well, I'm not in any Stargate.
Watch the movie.
Okay.
It'll give you where it all started.
Yeah. That's a good idea. There are just a few like tweaks that they made when they brought it to television, though, with regarding to the movie. But yeah, that's a good idea.
Okay.
Actually, do you guys remember when I think it was Martin Wood, director? We had director Martin Wood with Joe on.
Yeah,
I think it was him, wasn't it him? And
yeah,
who was it? Was it Martin? Remember, we asked at some point if Kurt Russell had ever been on the set.
Yeah.
And he said that Kurt Russell came in and he said, or maybe this is when we interviewed Joe for the first time. I don't know. But anyway, he said that Kurt Russell came in and he said, "Oh, your gate spins."
There's a picture of him with Richard D. Nelson, I believe. Yeah, very cool.
Gate World, huh? I'll check that out.
Yeah, there are. Yeah, I was going to say, if you wanted to kind of not watch all of it, I'm not saying you shouldn't, because I will always say watch all of it. But there are lists out there you can find that will basically like give you episodes that if you wanted to get, the basics of it, like the important ones, there's like a list of episodes that are good for that kind of thing.
It plays out like Star Trek, where you're going to, like exactly what Coco was saying, where there are going to be episodes that progress the story, and then there's going to be ones that are cool but have absolutely nothing to do with the bigger arc.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cool.
And like you guys were saying before, we see here that Rush finds a kind of the trajectory. Dr. Rush finds kind of the Destiny's
map.
trajectory, the map, and through the universe, and they're like, are those different points stars? And no, those different points are galaxies. And
That's rough.
Yeah. Now, wait. We haven't. Nobody has. The stones have not been in the first episode. If I'm correct, that's right. Right, they have not been used.
I don't think so.
I don't
Okay.
think so.
So So I'm I give you this background. There's these things called communication stones, Katie, that allow you to like body swap consciousness with people.
Oh, cool.
And so it's a tiny little spoiler, but I'm giving you the background on it. So so that those might show up at some point.
Okay, cool.
But
That would be useful.
yeah. So was it fun Diego? Was it fun to rewatch this?
Oh, it always is. The story's good. For me, some of the darker parts of the series are a little hard to get through, but overall, it's worth it. The visual effects are top notch. Like I said, there are some CGI hiccups here and there, like the keynote. Every once in a while, you'll see it kind of just doesn't match with the background, a couple other things. But when they're out in space, brilliant. And then the music. I love the music for this series. Love the music for this series.
Yeah, absolutely. Agreed. Rush. Thank you, Jeff. Rush grabs the stones case and takes it with him through the gate.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's what he grabbed.
Yeah. It doesn't actually use it though.
Thank you, Jeff. Excellent. Yeah, excellent. It's Katie's hair. So Love Shack is
much more expensive than you'd think.
The cast is fantastic.
Mm.
Coco, you said you've watched this less than others.
Yes.
So is it nice to? Are you gonna binge watch it now, or are you gonna watch it weekly, or what?
I'm definitely tempted to binge watch it because obviously, as you guys know, I'm a huge Daniel Jackson fan, and I kind of want to get to the episodes he pops up in. Obviously, I appreciate the little cute videos. There's a rumor that goes around that Jack recorded them, which I think is just hilarious. I obviously love the fact that it's still connected to the Stargate universe we know. It's a continuation of what a lot of us know and love. We get to see past characters. I mean, it's kind of what you want from a show connected to a universe you know really well, is to see things from the past pop up or be at least, recognized. So obviously, because we had a lot of the original people on from the other shows on this, you're going to get that. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to rewatching it.
Wow, awesome. And didn't you? Didn't you just? I love this comment. I thought it was so it was just such a millennial thing to say. But Eli was like, "I can't believe you guys still use whiteboards." He's like,
"You have all this technology, and here's a whiteboard."
Yeah, and there's people in the audience thinking. Remembering when people used to say, I can't believe you guys still use chalkboards.
Yeah.
It's kind of rough. You go through this gate and you're just wearing the clothes on your back. And I guess maybe they took a whole bunch of fatigues with them and stuff and surplus bags. But generally, people just got the clothes on their back, right? For this whole adventure.
Maybe you hope that the ship that you land on or wherever you end up has clothes.
I mean, it's
laundry.
Yeah.
It's kind of reminiscent to the very first movie, to be fair, because it's the same thing. They kind of just went through not really knowing what on earth was going to be on the other side. So, yes, similar to that.
I gotta bring it up. Sorry, Aaron Blake had mentioned, and it was actually part 3 of episode 1. Don't forget to breathe. The music there. That was one of the things when I heard that I was completely sold. There was a lot of the music, and then there was a later episode where it seemed odd at first, and I thought, this is awesome. It's the worst day since yesterday. Kind of that Scottish song, and I just brilliant, loved it.
Agreed. Totally agree with that. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah. Yeah, then they had a very interesting music, which was like you said, not traditional, but and thank you, Captain Spire, for the super chat. Thanks, PJ, for all you've done. Thank you for the panel and the guests you have on. They managed to bring a marker board. They managed to bring a marker board on the ship. Oh, and hi, Katie.
Hi.
Thank you, Captain Spire. Thank you, my friend. Vote Katie. Next Stargate ambassador for the planet of frog people. Yeah, don't you just love Shaq's comments? Frog people.
They're always interesting.
Yes, she is a natural with cicadas. Just wait till you catch her on Survivor someday.
True, one of these days.
So final thoughts, guys, on Stargate Universe Episode 1. Ladies first, Katie?
It wasn't too hard to follow, surprisingly. I think I have a decent understanding on it. But I'm excited to see where it goes, because I've heard a lot of people. I have a lot of friends who are fans of the series and the franchise. So I'm just excited to see what it's all about.
Coco, what about you?
Yeah, I'm just really excited to rewatch it, really, because I said I haven't seen this in a while, so I'll probably rewatch it and then be like, oh my days, I forgot that happened. So I always quite like it when that happens, because I'm a firm believer of always rewatching stuff, because you either pick something up you didn't the first time, you appreciate something you didn't the first time, etc., etc. So yeah, I always like to do a good rewatch.
I do. Oh, I was going to say something, and I've got caught up with the comments. Adega, go ahead. Sorry.
With this, most sci-fi, the basis is you have, especially when it's ships, it's exploration with adventure. This one is more drama with exploration, and in the background tends to be the adventure. This is a drama show more than anything else. So for Katie and anyone else who's going into it first, it is different. There's a totally different feel. This is a drama show, and just be prepared that this is more about the feel, interpersonal relationships, drastic situations that deal more with the human side instead of the exploration side. And I thought it was very cool that a sci-fi went this way. There was other ones that have done it in the past. Like I said earlier with the one actress, Continuum was one such. It was heavy in drama with some sci-fi background. But it's got a lot of good to it. But it's unusual and standalone. That's why some people didn't like it. They want the adventure more than the drama.
Yeah. We'll see how it goes then.
Dagar, are you ready to be weekly trolled?
Yeah, it's coming. I can feel it already. I'm gonna have that phrase in my nightmares.
Now, feel free to troll. Feel free to troll a Dagar on Twitter too. Don't just wait for Mondays.
I can take it.
And Levi is the viewpoint character, the Katie.
Yep. It's true. Yeah, just what's going on, guys? I'm not really sure.
Yeah, thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Jeff, for always being such a great support. I do want to say that I do think that. All right, it's been pretty they've said it. They had pretty much said at some point. I've heard Brad and Joe both say it, kind of, that they will likely take components of the 3 Stargate series for whatever new Stargate. Now, that implies that there should be some resolution to season 2 of SGU and how it ends. What there was a lot of comments on Twitter today of and let me ask Coco and Adega. There's a lot of comments without getting into it. Can you resolve the end of season 2 of SGU easily in order to draw upon SGU characters for new Stargate?
Letting Coco go first.
Thanks. Just throw me in the deep.
Well, if you want me to go first, that's fine. I just didn't want to.
No, I don't mind. There's probably a way it could be done. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but there's definitely a way it probably could be done.
In my opinion, I think it could be actually quite easy. Doesn't mean it would be something emotionally easy. They wrapped it up pretty well for a show that was cut short, where you want to see more, but you can kind of get along with what was there. But I think without too many spoils, something in the future, there are quite a few ways that they can continue on with this ship. And possibly some of the other actors may be able to come back and work without having any incongruency whatsoever. Tragedy, yes, but incongruency, no.
Yeah, and absolutely, Auron. It would be great to have a continuation of SGU. Resolute says the only resolution is they lost contact with them and never heard from them again.
Right.
That's a really easy way of doing it.
Yeah, that's literally just like one of those one-off comments they just put in a random episode, like, "Oh yeah, what happened to those? Oh, never heard from them again." The end.
And I remember we were teasing Joe. Oh, I can't say this. Forget it. I forget what I'm going to say. It's too much of a spoiler. Okay. Well, thanks, guys. I really look forward to Stargate Mondays, and if you guys can join us, it's amazing to have you. And if you can't, that's fine. But we're happy to have you as much as you can join us, Katie and Adega and Coco, and I do think that there has come a time for new Stargate, and I do want to just point out, everybody, make sure you are following, and I'm going to put this in the Twitter. I'm going to put this in the chat real quick. Make sure you are following Stargate Now Europe, who they're starting a tweet storm, or they're starting a tweet campaign, I should say, at some point tomorrow. Tomorrow is the anniversary on the 27th of the premiere of SG1, Stargate SG1.
Children of the Gods. Woohoo.
Yes.
Puppy!
Oh, she has gotten so big.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh.
Oh, look at that face.
She looks like a Muppet.
Yeah. Which one? Ralph?
Oh.
Silly dog.
So guys, make sure you follow Stargate Now Europe on Twitter, and they're going to be starting some kind of campaign for Stargate, and we have to give. It is important to give support at this time, because now is when they're figuring things out with Amazon supposedly, and we should show our support. Also, we're going to be doing, just so you guys know, we're going to be doing a lot of highlights from Stargate. I'm sorry, from Dark Matter Mondays, and we'll be putting out short clips, highlights of Adega and Katie saying weird and wild stuff.
Hey, that's every day.
Hey.
So yeah, it is for Katie. It is every day. And so look out for that, guys. And again, make sure you are supporting Stargate Europe Now on Twitter and follow them, and they will be organizing. They're going to be organizing a tweet campaign.
Were you?
So,
Did you see
yeah.
the last one that happened
Today?
No, there was a tweet storm about, let's say, a year or so ago. We got Stargate tweeting in multiple countries, trending, sorry. A lot of the actors and actresses have got involved. It was amazing.
Absolutely. That was a great job. And our friend Tom was part of that. And Tom, who was doing Tom Gardner, who was doing along with Gap, he was doing the Dark Matter trailers. And he was part of that tweet storm, and those guys did an amazing job. So, hats off to them. And all right, guys. Well, thank you. A last word from each of you. Katie, last words?
I'm excited to see where this goes because I'm completely brand new. So I might actually have to go back and watch the other Stargate, like the movie especially, before next week. And maybe get a little more context on what this is.
Awesome. Coco?
I'm just excited to see Daniel. And just to watch it in general, because I love me some Stargate, man.
I want to ask. I'm gonna ask the final thoughts to Dr. Adega. I'm gonna ask him a question, actually. Dr. Adega, author Dr. Adega, how would you kick off the new Stargate series if you had a blank slate? Sorry, it was a curveball.
No. It depends on what type of approach do you want. Do you want what kind of setting? How do you bring a series back into existence? There's a broad range of things.
So I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna ask you that question for next week. I'm gonna ask you how would Adega do it? How would
it's actually. Short answer, what I would do is I would take the endings of each series and combine them, because you have the defeat of the Ori, you have the Atlantis making Earth, and then you have this ship lost out nowhere. You can use Ori tech, Atlantis tech, and communications with that to set up your own new team that is going to investigate how to rescue various different people around the universe, how to explore different parts of things that they learned from each, whatever aspect. But each one leaves off little bits and pieces that you could pull together to make a new unit. And I think that may be where Joe is going. But you asked the other two, and I feel cheated. You wanted to know what they were excited about in the future. Please. And you said clips from previous shows from Katie and I do want to see Katie mix up Misaki and Joe's wife again.
Oh my gosh, that was the worst. That was the worst. Oh my
Hilarious.
Oh, I'm so glad she said, no, that Misaki, that's...
Yeah, we're so glad Joe didn't kill off a Kemi.
That's horrible. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I was so tired. I'll blame it on the exhaustion.
It's fine.
All right. Do you have another final comment, Adega, or is that?
No, we're good.
Okay.
Just glad to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Thanks,
yes,
guys.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Katie. Oh, really quick. Panda, are you Coco? Do you have any streams coming up this week?
Not at the moment, sadly. I would be trying to get back into things, but my health's so up and down at the moment, so yeah, just trying to get a handle on that, really.
Katie, do you have a stream this week? And can you put in your channel in this chat?
Yes, we have a stream this week, and I will pop in that channel. We're going to be doing Avatar: The Last Airbender and talking about potential giveaways that we have coming up. So, very exciting.
And Katie's got me hooked on Airbender now.
Same.
So good.
It is.
Yeah? You too, Coco?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I remembered that she was starting the stream, and then because of her, and then some of my friends also, when I went round, they had it on, and I was just like, I feel like the universe is trying to tell me something.
Yes! No, and then you came on the show, and it was just, oh my
days.
That was fun.
So funny. Oh,
we gotta have you on again.
Oh, please do let me know if you want me on, and I'll be like, hi.
Absolutely.
Let the trolling begin.
Yeah,
Next
here it
comes.
I'll just let you know, don't be afraid to do that because it takes a tremendous amount to make me angry. So I doubt you could do it.
I'm not the same on Twitter. I'm like, if anyone ever tries to like have a go at me, I'm just like, I don't care. Like, I haven't got time for that.
I stopped caring a long time ago.
Yes.
All right, guys. This is Katie's channel. So many random fandoms. Yes, it's a very Smurfy name. And Katie, make sure there's a couple. There's several people in here who are not subbed to so many random fandoms. Please do. Yes, when you get to this channel, you will see that crazy Starfleet meteorologist who's giving you the weather on Ryza and on the Klingon homeworld and on Vulcan. Yes, that's her.
That's me.
That's her. All right, guys. Thank you so much, Coco, Katie, and Adega. Thank you, Jim Henry, Lady Mist, Love Shack, Oren Blake, Dee Dee Myers, Stephanie Littlepage, Captain Robert, Tim Possible, everybody, Jeff Beeler, Jim Henry, Gap Stargate. You just troll on, my friend. You troll on. Resolute Sherm, Celine, Susanna, Dave Bob, Maria from Tia and Telly, everybody. Thank you guys, everybody, for joining us. And we'll be back next week. And we're going to gain a lot of momentum. Stargate is going to gain a lot of momentum, and Stargate Mondays is going to be a lot of fun. Thank you, guys.
Sweet.